It's the Go Mike podcast where the mic is go, and this is a podcast. I'm your host, Mark Paul, and today we have Swifty Blue. Okay, I've been wanting to make a Swifty Blue video for a while, but I have been not able to upload videos because of a community guideline strike that I had. So I got struck for something that I post probably over a year ago, and they decided a couple weeks ago to hit me with a community guideline strike because of it, so I was unable to upload. But I'm sure a lot of you've already heard about this situation with Swifty Blue. Okay, Swifty Blue, he is a Chicano rapper out of Paramount, California, and he made a big mess over the shit that he said. Swifty Blue said he will not sign to a black label. And the reasoning behind it is basically because a black person owns it. And that sparked some issues, seeing though Swifty Blue, being a Chicano rapper, is doing black music. So it's like, why would you count out signing to a black label and you're doing black music? Doesn't make sense to me. But for some reason, he felt it was okay to state that he's not signing with no black label. So let's get into the video. I'm gonna pull up the video here. Boom. There's the video. This guy name is Bootleg Kev. He is a white guy, so he has nothing to do with the gang culture in LA, but yet he's asking Swifty Blue about things of that nature. So it's just like, let's get into the video so we can kind of like get a real grasp of what's going on here. All right. So let me go ahead and press play here.
What did you see that? What I mean, I'm sure you saw it, everyone saw it, but what Wack was saying about how he never signed a Southsider.
All right, for right there is where I have an issue, because with Bootleg Kev being a white guy, Swifty Blue being a Mexican guy, and Wack 100 being a black guy, why would you ask such a divisive question like that? Why would you ask a Mexican what he think about a black guy saying that he won't sign a Mexican from a certain Mexican gang? Why would you ask a question like that, Bootleg Kev? I tell you why. These culture vultures like Adam 22, Bootleg Kev, they don't give a fuck about what's going on in LA. They can care less if what is talked about on their platform can lead to danger. They don't give a fuck. They want that moment. They want people to tune in to their podcast no matter what. And with this question, you know the snakes is going to come out the bag. But let's go.
You know what? Wack, like, he's right. He's like, that's how it is. It's been, you know what I'm saying? It's been a lot of like, they run their own politics. We run our own politics. It is what it is. I'm not mad at him. It just,
just understand that Wack 100 said that he will not sign a Southsider. He did not say anything about not signing a Mexican or Hispanic. He said he will not sign a Southsider. And the reason behind he's saying that he didn't want to sign a Southsider, to me, leads to the fact that he's probably scared to sign a Southsider, because he was talking about how if he signs a Southsider, the Serenos, they're gonna want that contract. You know, they're gonna want a piece of the contract. So that's why Whack 100 said that he will not sign a Southsider. And I hate defending Whack. I hate defending Whack 100, but he is right. He said he will not sign a Southsider because the Southsider, the higher ups from the South Side, they are going to want part of that contract. They're going to want some money. So to protect his business, he will not sign a Southsider. He didn't say he wouldn't sign a Mexican artist. He won't sign a Southsider. And honestly, I don't see why anybody would want to sign to Whack 100 in the first place. Like, why would you want to sign to Whack 100 in the first place? And he is known for just spilling nonsense. He's known for just running his mouth to no end and not really showing any accountability for the shit that he say come out his mouth. He just feel like, hey, I got a mouth, I can say what I want to say. And a lot of people feel like that. A lot of people feel like just because they have a voice, they could just say what they want to say, no matter who they step on, no matter who they disrespect. And that ain't right. And Whack 100, he's known for that. I'm not saying that Whack 100 was doing that in this situation, because he wasn't. He clearly said that he will not sign a Southsider. He didn't say he wouldn't sign a Mexican. But let's continue with the video.
The question was asked between him and the homie that was talking. It was kind of like the way they asked the question and the way they got at each other. You know, obviously he's going to answer a certain way.
Yeah.
If it was me.
No, it wasn't the way they asked the question. It was the question that was asked. He said he will not sign a Southsider. He never said he will not sign a Mexican. But let's go.
Phone with Whack, I'm not gonna ask him, would you sign the Southside? I don't give a fuck if you want to sign one. We don't want to sign to no blacks.
Right.
Southsiders do want. Guess I don't even want to speak on that, but we don't want to sign to no blacks.
And he's speaking for the whole South Side. So he's putting the South Side on his back, and he's saying that nobody from the South Side wants to sign with black labels. And it's kind of contradictory to the art form that you are trying to create in. You are trying to create in a black space. Hip hop is a black art form. Hip hop is black culture, and you're trying to make music contributing to black culture, but you're saying that you don't want to sign to blacks. It's not like they said they don't want to sign to a Crip. It's not like he's saying they don't want to sign to a Blood. He said to blacks. So even if you are not gang related and you're black, he's not signing with you. None of the South Side wants to sign with you. And that's kind of hard to believe, because hip hop is black music. If you're given an opportunity, I'm not saying take every opportunity, but if you're offered an opportunity to take whatever you doing to a whole nother level, and you decline on that opportunity just because the person that is giving you that opportunity is black, you're wrong. Now, if you said, hey, I don't want to sign to no Crip, I don't want to sign to no Blood, that's a different story. Because yeah, in the gang politics, yeah, it goes along with what he's saying here. But he's not saying that. He's not saying that, hey, I don't want to sign to a Crip or I don't want to sign to a Blood. He's saying he don't want to sign to blacks. But let's go.
Is that because of the prison shit? It's not a racist thing? Help me understand, because when you say that out loud, it sounds crazy.
It's because like this. It's like.
And the one thing I want to point out about white people always trying to make other groups just as racist as them. White people are always trying to say that, you know, everybody is being racist, and I don't think that's true. Me personally, I believe that a group can be racist only if they have the power to oppress. See, that's how I look at racism. I look at racism as a bigger than what most people look at it. I look at it as, hey, if you can stop me from doing something, if you can stop me, if you got rules in place that will hinder me from moving forward, that's racism. Now, all this other stuff people were talking about, that's just being plain prejudice. I don't like you, or you don't like me. That's just being prejudiced. Being racist has to do with a lot more power than what a lot of people believe. I believe that racism is way deeper. You know, I believe that a Mexican cannot like a black person because he's black and not be racist, but be prejudiced. You know, because, and I believe vice versa. A black person can not like a Mexican person and not be racist, but they are prejudiced. You know, because neither of our groups have the power to oppress each other. So in the root of racism, you know, there's oppression that comes about. And I don't think blacks nor Hispanics have the power to oppress each other at a high magnitude. But let's go.
It's like I go to jail, I rock with my race.
Mm-hmm.
I eat with my race. I do things with my race. So it's like I'm here. I conduct business. I do things with my race. You know, like we integrate and whatnot. But why would I have somebody in charge of my music career if I'm already programmed a certain way? All
right. So that goes down to business and politics. Business and pleasure. So we're going to take the pleasure word out and we're just going to use politics, because pleasure and politics, we're going to just interchange them as if they are the same. Because how are you going to mix prison politics with on the street business? Like, how are you allowing what goes on in the penitentiary to dictate how your money is being made, and you're trying to make money in a black space? Like, it just doesn't make sense. But let's go.
Institutionalized a certain way. Why would I? You get what I'm saying? That's just my mindset. So I'm like, nah, we wouldn't do that. And most of the homies would think the same way as me. They're gonna agree with what I say.
So
like,
you wouldn't sign with somebody if they were unaffiliated. Like, let's say Diddy wanted.
And here is Bootleg Kev. He's baiting them in. He's like a lot of white people. They like to make other groups to be just as racist as them. So they're trying to like eliminate their part in racism and try to pull other people in and try to say, hey, this person's racist too. This person racist too. We got black racists. We got Mexican racists. We're not the only one that's racist. So just peep how Bootleg Kev is reeling him in. It seems as if he's trying to save him, but I believe that if he didn't want this type of an outcome, he wouldn't have asked this type of a question. I believe asking that question, he knew what type of answer he was going to get. So Bootleg Kev trying to act like he's trying to save him, try to, get him to reword it. It just seems like very, very, very suspicious to me. But let's go.
I need a bad boy.
Me personally, I'm not trying to sign. I'll get some.
Did you hear what he say? So this is what Swifty Blue should have said in the first place. He's just not trying to sign, period, with a label, if that's how he wants to do it. He clearly said that he does not want black people in charge of his career, but he wants to do black music. Just think about how backwards that sound. Think about how ass backwards he sound by saying that he does not want a black person in charge of his career, and he is pursuing a career in a black space of music. Make it make sense. But let's go.
Sign and we do some business.
Let's say Kodak Black wanted to make you sniper game.
We're gonna get a little swayed on there. You know what I'm saying? I'm rocking with them. It's all love. I'm not gonna sign. But
so are you saying that you wouldn't sign strictly because of their race?
Because I'm not gonna have it. And it's like this. We're gonna negotiate the terms. We're gonna make sure that it's like we have. It's like 50-50 control type shit.
And that's what it boils down to. I don't care what your deal look like. If your deal is structured in a way where you are in control of what's going on, why wouldn't you sign to a black label? Why wouldn't you look at this as a stepping stone? It's not saying that you got to be a part of that label for life, but you can look at it as a stepping stone to get you from here to here. How are you going to elevate yourself in black music if you're going to shit on black labels? It does not make no sense. It's like a negative and a negative. It doesn't make sense. You are rapping. Rap is black music. How do you really believe that you're gonna get on this platform and say that regardless of if the black person is gang related, you're just not signing to them because they're black? And it's like, I keep saying this, you are doing black music, so won't you go do some salsa music somewhere? Won't you go do some gorrito music somewhere? Won't you go do some mariachi music somewhere? Something that is in line with your culture. Why do you feel like you need to come to our culture, hip-hop culture? Why do you think you need to come to hip-hop culture, black culture, and try to shun black labels when black people are the foundation of why you're rapping in the first place? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I understand that, you know, probably when the Bootleg guy mentioned Whack 100, it kind of sparked a nerve. Like, hey, I heard what he said about Southsiders, not Mexicans as a whole. I heard what he said about Southsiders, but I bet you he didn't take it like that. When he heard that when Whack 100 said that he would not sign a Southsider, I bet you he took it as Swifty Blue took it as if he was not going to sign a Mexican, period. And that's just not the case. That's just not the case. But let's continue.
We're not gonna give somebody else, let alone another race, full control.
Okay,
that's what it comes down to.
But
you get what I'm saying? Like, it's not no disrespect, but it's just more like,
it just sounds crazy out loud.
It does sound crazy.
It sounds a little racist.
But you know what?
It does sound crazy, because it is crazy. It's because, bruh, I said this probably 4 times already. You are in a black space of music. It'd be one thing if you were making mariachi music, salsa music, corrido music. It'd be one thing if you were making that type of music and you saying that you don't want to sign to a black artist, because a black label, because like, what are black people gonna do for that type of music? You know, that's not our culture. Our culture is hip hop. And I'm not saying that, you know, every black label is gonna elevate anybody to that level of relevance. No, that's not the case, because there's plenty of hungry black rappers out there that is doing everything they can to kind of break through, and it's just not working. I was watching a video of a Chicano rapper named Mr. Capone. And I know Mr. Capone from back in the day. I used to listen to that high power shit. I used to listen to Mr. Capone back in the day. And Mr. Capone, he hears about this video right here that we're watching, and he wants to give his 2 cents. And in the midst of him giving his 2 cents about Swifty Blue saying that he would not sign to a black label, he goes on to talk about how doors was closed on him, how black people basically was trying to blackball him from rap, not give him a fair opportunity. This is what I'm giving. It's not verbatim what he say, but this is what I gathered from what he say, as if, you know, the black people just kind of really wasn't making him, you know, like wasn't trying to fuck with him. But later on in the video, he talks about how G-Unit offered him a deal and he declined on the deal. So it's like, Mr. Capone, which one is it? Are blacks closing the doors in your face, not giving you opportunities? And what happened with the deal with G-Unit? when I heard Mr. Capone said that he declined a deal with G Unit, my vision of music just started twinkling. I was like, Mr. Capone, G Unit. And honestly, just from me knowing Mr. Capone and me knowing G Unit, I think that could have been a really good mix to try to elevate Mr. Capone to a higher level in hip hop. I really believe that 50 Cent could have probably made Mr. Capone the biggest Chicano rapper out there. But he talks about how he declined the deal. So it's like, I wonder if I hope it was a shit deal and it wasn't just like a situation like this guy where he just don't want to sign with a black label, you know, because G Unit has put on a lot of people. G Unit is a really, really good, you know, label to get exposure. And nobody is saying that you need to sign with a label for life. No, I'm saying that, hey, if an opportunity presents itself and it just so happens to be with a black label, use that as a stepping stone. Don't just shun it just because the people are black. But let's continue.
That sounds a lot of racist.
No, you know what? I'm just being honest. I'm being real. Like, I'd rather go sign with like, even though you like, you might hear crazy shit, but I'd rather go sign with like a corrido label or something, you know, like I'm gonna keep it to the roots. You get what I'm saying?
You hear this fool? This dude said that he will, like, if he's gonna sign to like a corrido label, and it's like, bruh, are you making that kind of music? Are you making that kind of music? You are making black music. Why would you think that signing to a corrido label will do something good for your hip hop, aka black culture, career? Like, you have a career inside black culture, but you're trying to shun black people and their labels just because they're black. And it's just like, bruh, you make 0 sense. But, you know, Bootleg Cab did kind of put him in a trick bag by mentoring Whack 100, you know. But still, he still has a responsibility to make sure his message is relayed in a way where, you know, it's conducive to his career. And I don't think this is conducive to his career. But let's go.
Like, if they wasn't fucking with us back then, why they fucking with us now? Because now we breaking in, we doing shit. Now they gonna.
And he say they wasn't fucking with us back then. Like, dude, are you serious? Do you know who Cypress Hill is? Do you know Brownstone? Do you know Kid Frost? Do you know, like, come on now. It's like you got Sad Boy Loco signed to YG's label. Like, what are you talking about? You know, like, it's as if he's just trying to make up something to try to make it seem like that, hey, that, you know, black people wouldn't fucking with Chicano rap before. Now, why do they want to fuck with Chicano rap now? It's like, bruh, if you are doing something good and people are noticing that you're doing something good, I think it's best that you don't burn those bridges, you know, because I think he's burning bridges. I believe there's going to be a lot of people that say, you know, I used to fuck with Swifty Blue. I'm not fucking with him after this. You know, but then there's going to be a lot of people that's going to say that he's right. I understand what he's trying to say. He may have not even said it right, but I understand what he's trying to say. He wants to keep it in his coach, with his family. But that's not what he's saying. He's saying that he does not want to sign with a black label, basically because he does not want black people in control of his career in a black music space. And it's just like, how do you think you're going to navigate in a black sector of music? And it's like, what are you talking about? But let's go.
Yeah, of course. Fuck all that. Nah, we're going to do what we know best. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. And I'm from LA. I'm from out here from the street.
Hypothetically, Kanye West wants to sign you to good music. It's a no.
Well, I'm going to be like, look, we got Suede and Peso.
look how dumb he sounds. Look how stupid this guy sound. He rather decline a deal with one of the biggest rap producers out in rap. One of the biggest rap producers out. He will not take that opportunity and use that as a stepping stone. He would basically go find some of his homies and kind of like push. He's basically saying that he will recommend that his homies will do something. He will recommend his homies to do something that he wouldn't do himself. So like, is he a real homie? There's no way possible that I would ever recommend my homie to do something that I would not do myself. Like, what type of shit is that? So you just don't like black people. That's basically what you're saying. But let's go.
Check it out. Them little fools doing more numbers than me. Kanye, fuck me. We got them on the
Nah, he wants you.
I'll be like, nah, man.
So it's a no.
Yeah, I can't do it. I can't. You know what I'm saying?
So, do you work with black artists?
Yeah, I do, but it's different though. Like most of the time,
all right, so if you would do a feature with a black artist, why wouldn't you? Oh, I get it. So you would do a feature with a black artist because that black artist will give you some type of a clout from, for whatever reason. You would use them for clout, but you was not about to allow them to kind of coordinate your music career, even though you're in a black space of the music. It's like that part just really just doesn't, there's nothing about that sits right with me. Like like I said, it'd be one thing if you were making other music like salsa, gordito, or mariachi or something, and hey, I don't want to sign to no blacks. That makes sense. But you're doing black music, so you shouldn't just, I'm not saying that, hey, you should just go ahead and sign with a black label just because they're black. But I'm saying if that opportunity presents itself, then you might as well take it and use it as a stepstone to get to where you're going. And that's how that works. I believe Swifty Blue will always be a marginal rapper. He will only be local. Swifty Blue will never be one of the top artists in hip hop because of his mindset, because of he's trying to allow prison politics to dictate his music career in a black space of music. And I actually had other videos of Swifty Blue, but I'm not even about to go ahead and get into it. This video is almost 30 minutes long in itself. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. But I am going to say this before I go. There has been a lot of content creators on YouTube who actually agrees with what he's saying, and they're trying to kind of like filter what he's saying and try to say that this is what he mean. He didn't mean it that way. He meant it this way. But we're listening to him out of his own mouth saying basically that I wouldn't sign with a black label just because they're black. And we got other people sitting up talking about how he's just saying that he's just trying to keep it in his family. He's just trying to keep it within his people. But that's not what he say, So I'm going to go ahead and leave it right here. It's the Go Mike Podcast, where the mic is golden. It's a podcast. I'm your host, Mark Paul, and I'm out.